Hi everyone. One of the big questions that I hear a lot is, are the after hours events at Disney World worth it? And in case you don't know, the after hours events are exactly what they say. They are a hard ticketed event, so it is a separate cost compared to a park ticket or annual pass that you are in the parks after it closes for several hours, and it's only the people who have paid for that ticket who are there. It's extra compared to your park ticket for the day or annual pass. It's an extra charge. You do get a discount if you're a DVC member or an annual pass holder, and it's a significant discount. So basically you get a few hours in the park where the only people there are the people who have paid this extra money to be in the park. So I decided to try it. I went to the Magic Kingdom when I was there a few weeks ago, and I wanted to kind of give you some pros and cons so you can make the decision if it's the right event for you. It might not be for everyone, especially if you're not a late night person. I could see, because it wasn't that late for us, but it could be. We'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute. So we went, like I said, Magic Kingdom, and the day that we went, the park closed at 8 p.m. So when you do the after hours, regardless of when the park closes, you can come in the park at 7 p.m. They actually let us in at about 6:45, but it's still supposed to be 7 o'clock. You can't count on that. Like, you couldn't show up at 6 and, like, fingers crossed they're going to let you in. But where you get more park time is when the park normally closes. So if the park is closing at 10 o'clock that night, you actually get 3 extra hours on top of the 3 after hours that you're paying for. So a couple other things that are included: you get free snacks and drinks, and they're bottled drinks like Coke, water, things like that, popcorn and ice cream. So, and there are snack carts all over it, and they actually give you like a little map, and it tells you where all the snacks are, what food is available, where you can go shopping, what rides are open, what characters you can meet. And for some of you that like the special events because you get to meet special characters, there were no special characters of this. It was Minnie and Mickey, but they were the 90th birthday ones, so that's something to think about. Tinkerbell, Ariel, and the princesses at the Fairy Tale Hall, which is now currently Tiana, Elena, Rapunzel, and Cinderella. So those are the only characters there. Like, I was kind of hoping, because it was Thursday, and Thursday is Friar Tuck and King John Day, like, I was hoping they would be there. No. I was hoping Merida would be there. No. I was hoping that they might have, like, some special ones, like Stitch or Lotso, but no. It literally, that's it. Just the normal ones, and the ones you would get a fast pass for. And I'm trying to remember, I think the line, I don't know, I did not even try to go to Mickey and Minnie, because when the event started, I was already in the park. And where it's the 90th birthday Mickey and Minnie, they are like super popular right now anyway. So I didn't get a fast pass for that. I didn't do anything like that. I did get one fast pass, which I ended up using it, but it was after 7 p.m., which was for Space Mountain. But thinking I wouldn't be coming in before 7 p.m., I only got the Space Mountain one. So one thing we did do, because we did actually get there at 6:45, we went straight to Carousel of Progress, which closes at 7, because it always closes at 7 every day, and it was not open during the event. And I wanted to ride it because it is one of my favorites, as you can see with my new shirt that has a Carousel of Progress song on it. So it's my new favorite Disney shirt. So I wanted to do that first, then I did Space Mountain. So we did it in order, like we went from land to land, because we tried to ride every single ride in the park in 4 hours. It was nuts. But we rode everything except Jungle Cruise and Magic Carpets of Aladdin, and that's because we ran out of time, and we ended up, this is kind of our tradition though, because we always are careening on one wheel into Pirates of the Caribbean as they're closing the doors for the night. So that was our last ride. So we didn't get to ride the rest of Adventureland, but we did not ride. Peter Pan had a 30-minute wait, which if you're trying to ride every ride in the park in 4 hours, you cannot stand in line for anything for 30 minutes. So we did not ride that. We did not ride Splash Mountain because my friend that went with me does not ride Splash Mountain. And also, Splash Mountain, I don't know if you know this or not, is an 18-minute ride. So if you're trying to ride every ride in the Magic Kingdom in 4 hours, 18 minutes is a long time to be on one ride. So, because I am a nice person, even though I still have never, can you believe this, in 7 years of going to Disney World, I've been there dozens of times, I have never ridden Splash Mountain at night. So, I'm going to keep that on park goals for a while because I still haven't done it. So, what else did we not ride? And look, I'm cheating. So we didn't ride Jungle Cruise, Magic Carpets of Aladdin, Peter Pan, or Splash Mountain. I think that was it. Oh, we didn't do Country Bear Jamboree either because it's also long and we were on a time frame. But everything else we rode. So, if you think about it from that perspective, I think our tickets were under $100 because I used my DVC discount. They, I think, normally are $130. One day at the Magic Kingdom is going to run you about $120 depending on what day you go. So when you think about it, and think about an average day at the Magic Kingdom, you cannot ride every ride in the Magic Kingdom. Like, maybe if you rope dropped and had strategic fast passes based on your rope drop, and it wasn't a busy park day, and it wasn't too hot, so you didn't have to rest, like, maybe you could ride everything in Magic Kingdom in one day. But the busier it gets, the harder and harder that is to be a thing. So we wanted to see if we could do it. We got real close. And we left satisfied for the night. We felt like we got our money's worth. There were no lines. The only line we had, well, Peter Pan obviously had a line, and I don't know why Peter Pan had a 35-minute line. I'm still trying to figure that one out. I mean, it's an awesome ride. I guess it just got back up from refurbishments a couple weeks before, so maybe like people hadn't gotten to ride it on their last trip. But it had a 35-minute line. Like Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, I think we were in line 18 minutes. Which is, I mean, normally that's like at least an hour of your time. We're not getting back, waiting in line for that. Like when you go during the fireworks, where everyone else is watching the fireworks, which, why am I telling you my secrets? If you don't know this, if you have a ride you want to ride, any park, does not matter. The best time to do it is during the fireworks, because literally everyone else in the park is watching the fireworks. So the lines are super short. Now you're all going to do that, and I'm not going to get to do it because the lines are going to be too long. But that's when I usually ride Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, because A, I like to ride it at night, and B, the lines usually down 40 minutes max. So the park was pretty empty. Almost every attraction was open. There were no lines. Even that first hour, like, people were clearing out because they knew they had to leave. So we rode a couple rides, like, because we gave that as part of that was our time, part of our ticket time. So we did ride, I think, all of Tomorrowland, and I think we rode everything in Tomorrowland, and we're already over at Barnstormer. Yes, because we rode Barnstormer twice, because we were literally the only people in line, and they let us just not even get off. Which also kind of probably affected being able to ride all the rides, but might have been a calculated error on my move. Anyhow, so yeah, so if you want to ride everything, you don't like to wait in line, it's a great way to do it. That being said, that's also kind of a con though, because when you want to ride everything, it's super fast paced and you have to be strategic, and then you get worried about, like, do I even have time to go to the bathroom because you're on some imaginary schedule that you put yourself on. But you do, because there aren't any lines for the bathroom either. So yeah, so we started in Tomorrowland, then we went over to Storybook Circus, and then did the rest of Fantasyland, and then Liberty Square, and then Adventureland. So we just kind of went around the park in a circle. Which actually, pro tip, that's a good way, like, you know how you can walk 22 miles in a day at Magic Kingdom? If you have no desire to walk 22 miles in a day, start in Tomorrowland and go in a circle. Because then you're not walking back and forth in the park. And I'm so guilty of that. Like, I'll make, like, a Big Thunder Fast Pass, and then a Space Mountain Fast Pass, and then a Haunted Mansion Fast Pass. And I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. So don't do that. you know, if you really don't want to do that, that's always a good pro tip. Start in Tomorrowland and work your way around, or start in Adventureland and work your way around the other way. So, and like I said, you get free snacks and drinks. That's obviously a pro. You get to ride all the rides at night. Some rides are better at night. I don't know if you knew that too. Big Thunder Mountain, super fun at night. Astro Orbiter, fun at night. Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, fun at night. Even Haunted Mansion, it's inside, but it's a little creepier at night. Oh, and I hear Splash Mountain's really fun at night. Park goals. I've got to work on that one. Next trip, I'm riding Splash Mountain at night. Fingers crossed. I'm going to deliberately get like an 8:45 Fast Pass just so I have to do it. There you go. So, like I said, you get to ride all the rides at night. You can ride your favorite ride. Like if your favorite ride is Dumbo, you literally could have ridden Dumbo for 3 hours straight. Because we were in line, I think, for Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. And these people told us that they literally just stayed on Dumbo for 6 times because there wasn't a line. And I know when we got on Dumbo, there were people that didn't get off. And when we got off Dumbo, she's like, if you want to stay, just stay in your car. So, like, you could have stayed on Dumbo all night long and no one would have been like, don't you think it's time to move on? And the park was really empty. But that kind of leads to a con as well, because it seemed very dark to me. Like, when I did try to tape some B-roll for you guys, I have a few photos that I'm going to intersperse in this, but when I went to take B-roll, it was so dark in the park that, like, my B-roll wasn't turning out. It just literally looked like a black screen. So that's something to think about. It's not like lit up like it usually is, because it's just not as much, and it's less people, so there's not like people on their screens, you know, their phones and iPads and stuff. It just, there was not as much ambient lighting as there normally would be. A couple other cons. Some attractions weren't open. I told you we had to do Carousel Progress the minute we got there because it was closing. Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor. I know it's not for everybody, but some people do like it. And I don't want you to buy a ticket and think you're going to get to see it, and you're not. Enchanted Tales with Belle, also another favorite, was not available. The Riverboat was not available, and some of the character meets, like if you wanted to meet Gaston or Merida or Stitch, like those were not available. They were not doing those. But I would recommend, if you're going to do this, don't go to the park that day. That's what we did. We actually went to the baseball game, but we wouldn't have gone to the park because what we would have spent on a park ticket, it's the same price. It's essentially a couple bucks more than a regular park ticket, and you've got the park to yourself. So if you're doing it, I would recommend just doing that for your park day. But that being said, if you come all the way from Des Moines, Iowa, and all you want to see is Enchanted Tales with Belle, this event is not going to be for you. So, I also said, like I said, we felt rushed because we only got 4 hours. And that is a con. Everyone gets in at 7 p.m. for after hours. If the park's closing at 11 o'clock and after hours are 11 to 1, that's the deal of the century because you get like 6 hours in the park. If the park closes at 8 like it did for us, we only had 4 hours in the park. And we only had 1 hour before the park actually closed. So something to keep in mind, if you are going to do after hours and you really want to get your money's worth, you want to go to after hours on a night when the park closes at like, I think 11 is the latest that they'll do after hours. But you want to get like a 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock closing instead of an 8 o'clock closing to get a couple extra hours of park time. But regardless of when you do after hours, you need to eat beforehand, because this was the biggest con of after hours. Me and my blood sugar are going to tell you about this right now because it got real scary there for a minute. There's no food. Everything closes at 7 except for Casey's. So needless to say, if someone needs a meal, you've got to walk up to the front of the park to go to Casey's. And that, I mean, first of all, depending on where you are in the park, that's a long walk. And I don't think I need to tell you, even if there are not a lot of people at after hours, I don't think I need to tell you what the lines look like at Casey's when it's the only place to eat in the Magic Kingdom. That place is busy all the time anyways. So imagine if it's the only restaurant that's open. And what if you don't like hot dogs? Then you're really in trouble. And maybe it's not always Casey's. Maybe sometimes it's Cosmic Rays, or maybe sometimes it's Columbia Harbor House. But the problem is they're not having their full staff there for this. So all the shops and restaurants, the only shop that we saw that was open, well, like the ones at the end of the rides, some of those were open because you have to go through them to get to the rides. But the Emporium was open, but I stay in the park till it closes a lot. I go to Extra Magic Hours a lot. They were literally locking up the doors to the Emporium at 11 p.m. Because it ended at 11 p.m. It was probably a few minutes after 11, and we kind of snuck in because I was looking for a certain pair of ears that I had wanted, and they didn't have them there, but they were closing the doors. And like, if you go on a normal night, and even if you do Extra Magic Hours, you can still get in I've gone in the Emporium several times after the Kiss Goodnight, which is, for those of you who have never stayed super late at the park, the Kiss Goodnight is actually, they do like a light show on the castle, and they actually like thank you for coming and see you real soon. It's a super polite, only Disney could be this polite about kicking you out of a place. So I've been there a million times for that, and I've still gone to the Emporium afterwards. So I was really shocked that they were locking the doors, and I'm not even going to have any shame about this. I really wanted those ears, and they didn't have them at the resort where we were staying. And literally, like, the Emporium it goes all the way down Main Street, so it has like several doors. Like, I found one that was unlocked and went in it, and she was actually locking a different one. I kind of felt like a jerk about it, but I did get my ears, and the people were super sweet, but they were ready to go. So that's really strange. Like, that's not my normal Disney experience. So if you go in expecting like you've got plenty of time after the park closes to still shop, or maybe get a snack at Main Street Bakery, which I don't think was open, but I'm going to double check. It was. Oh yeah, it was. Main Street Bakery was open. But you only get like a cupcake there. Yeah, and literally the Emporium was the only shop open because I looked on my cheat sheet. So that's something to keep in mind. Like, they're ready to go, and it's not going to be open, and nothing's really open. So if you're hungry, all you can get is the snacks. And the other thing is, once that snack cart runs out of snacks, they're out of snacks. And that's something we also experienced, like, later in the evening. Like, we didn't get any food because none of the restaurants were open, and we didn't know that was going to be happening. So I think we had a Mickey bar and a pop. And I had, right before Anti-Gravity's closed, I got the up cone. And so I had the up cone, ice cream cone, which was really Dole Whip, not ice cream, but I had that ice cream cone like right before the park closed. And then we had Mickey bars when we got a Seven Dwarf Mine Train because that cart was there, and a pop. And then we went to get popcorn as we were leaving the park because we were starving to death. And we literally they gave us, they weren't making any more popcorn because the park was closed. So they gave us a cup with like this much popcorn in it. And so then I ate another Mickey bar because I was hungry. And I don't think you're supposed to eat Mickey bars for dinner even at Disney World. So pretty much that night, like, I ate at the ballpark at noon at the baseball game. And then I had ice cream for dinner. And then it was 11 o'clock. And then your quick service at your hotel is closed. And then I was like, should I see if I could get Uber Eats? Like, it was, and all the room service was closed at that point. So it was not the greatest. So keep that in mind. That was a huge con to me, obviously, because I've ranted about it for how long now. And actually, I think that was the biggest con. It moved fast because we had kind of a short window because of when the park closed the day that we went. I didn't even really think it was a con that all the attractions weren't open because I got Dry Carousel Progress the minute I got there. And then the other ones, like the riverboat, I just kind of ride that to cool off in the middle of the day. I mean, I guess if you're like a Tom Sawyer Island super fan, you were probably sad. But if you're that person, like, yeah, I'm not going to judge if you're that person. But, so overall, back to the main question, is it worth it? Yeah, I think it is. So yeah, is it worth it? Yes. If you want to go to see Enchanted Tales with Belle, then no, it's not worth it. But for most people, it's a good park day. It's nice because it's a night. It's cooler. Definitely check it out if you haven't. Remember, if you're DVC or annual pass holders, you do get a discount. So definitely, if you get a chance to do it after hours, I haven't done it at the other parks. I'm sure it's similarly fun. Maybe I will do it in another park next time, so I can give you an opinion on that. But definitely, if you're at the Magic Kingdom on a day they have it, you should do it. Have a great day. Oh, so yeah, is it worth it? Yes. If you want to go to see Enchanted Tales with Belle, then no, it's not worth it. But for most people, it's a good park day. It's nice because it's a night. It's cooler. Definitely check it out if you haven't. Remember, if you're DVC or annual pass holders, you do get a discount. So definitely, if you get a chance to do it after hours, I haven't done it at the other parks. I'm sure it's similarly fun. Maybe I will do it in another park next time, so I can give you an opinion on that. But definitely, if you're at the Magic Kingdom on a day they have it, you should do it. Have a great day.